Hi, I'm Kevin Reading from Naj Restaurant. We'd like to invite you to join us as we explore interesting people and places of the Chesapeake region. From basic eats to culinary treats, we'll show you what it takes to put flavor on your table. Hello, welcome to Flavour. Today we're going to take a trip to Cape Charles, Virginia, located about 8 miles north of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. This town is on the precipice of explosion on real estate and just wonderful living. We're going to meet Sharon Wise, who's out front here, and she works at Seashore Realty. In just a minute, we're going to meet her and see what this town's all about. Stay tuned. Welcome to Naj, an East Coast eatery. We have 5 culinary graduates on the staff here. Basically what Naj is, we are a unique bistro dedicated to giving you the environment and cuisine to make this a unique experience.
Our dinner is fabulous. It's just a wonderful evening. Couldn't be better.
Really impressed.
Naj has a great future.
But that's what it's all about, and that's what we put our energy into, and we'll see you later.
Quality, integrity, knowledge, expertise. Shop Hickman's Meat Market in the Shore Plaza, Rehoboth Beach. 5 generations of specialty meat cutters have produced one of the finest old world style meat markets in the area. Savor the aroma of bacon, ham, and turkey from their smokehouse as you let them custom cut your order just the way you like it. Only the finest ingredients are used in Hickman's own brats and sausage, hand-packed right here. When only the best will do, Hickman's, Shore Plaza, Rehoboth Beach.
Beautiful Foods with Bill Wilson, owner and chef. Besides all the wonderful cheeses that you see here, Bill has a full line, blends his own spices, a full line of vinegars, probably the most extensive in the tri-state area.
Beautiful Foods, Henlopen Junction, Rehoboth Beach. Come get a taste of what beautiful food is all about.
You're always like that. You come in and you're always offering tastings, and I think that what hooks people. Bill Wilson, Beautiful Foods, I highly recommend a visit.
Creating the right atmosphere is key to any home. From window-rattling home theater systems to the finest billiard tables, Home & Company has what you need to make your dream home a reality. Home & Company, making home fun again. Rehoboth Avenue, Rehoboth Beach.
Sharon, how are you? And welcome to the show today.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we've been friends now, and we bought some properties together. And
Right.
Not together, but you helped me to
Right.
purchase a property here, and we've looked at some businesses. And I kind of came across this town by accident and just have really come to love the town, and I'm excited about the growth. Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on in the area?
Cape Charles is surrounded by the Chesapeake Bay. It's a historic town. It's about 6 blocks long. It's on the National Historic Register. The town started a major revitalization about 4 years ago when a developer by the name of Dick Foster came over from Virginia Beach, bought a large piece of property, basically right on the other side of the town harbor here, and started developing it. It's called Bay Creek. It's a gated community. It's about 1,500 acres. It's going to have 2 golf courses. We have a Palmer course in now, a Nicholas course that will be opening up next summer along with a permanent golf club. The other major project that's underway is another effort by Mr. Foster and a partner of his by the name of Paul Galloway, who's also from Virginia Beach. And they have resurrected the old Kings Creek Marina, which is on the other end of town here. We've got 224 state-of-the-art slip marina, started opening up this past May. We have a brand new restaurant that just opened up a few months ago. We have 10,000 square feet of retail space with the first 4 shops opening up this weekend actually. Beautiful homes under construction there. The architectural style is very unique. I think for this area, it's an East Indies style. Pastel homes remind you that even though you're on the Chesapeake Bay, you get the feel that you might be on some Caribbean island.
Now the town, like you said, is about 6 blocks long, and it's going through a major renovation. Every time I come down here, there's more development. I think the hotel is back under construction.
Right.
That's slated for opening soon.
Yeah, what we're hearing is that the hotel hopefully will open up around Thanksgiving. It is a historical renovation. It's going to be about 15 rooms, all with en-suite baths with retail space on the bottom. We have our coffee shop right down the street here. That was a historical renovation that just opened up this summer. We have an Irish pub down this way that's currently under renovation, planned for opening on St. Patrick's Day, hopefully. Just a lot of interest in our business district here, which is Mason Avenue. And then all of the old historical homes that had sort of gone into decay to some extent, that folks are coming in, purchasing the homes, bringing them back to their grandeur. A lot of people are doing renovations per historic guidelines, which means that they have tax credits available to them if they follow the historic guidelines.
You know, this town reminds me a little bit, and I lived in Cape May for a number of years, and this really reminds me of the early years of Cape May as it was going through its development with the historic homes and you know, beautiful landscaping and what have you.
We have a lot of people make that comment to us, not only Cape May, but Rehoboth in the very early years. A lot of my clients who have come down from the Rehoboth area have made mention that this has the same feel that they got when they first went in to Rehoboth or Cape May, just as you just said.
Right.
Yeah.
Besides the great golf that's going to be afforded, I understand the fishing is in this community second to none.
The fishing's what brought us here, my husband and I here from Northern Virginia.
Fisherman.
Yeah. Boating obviously is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, we are surrounded by the Chesapeake Bay. Kayaking is very big here in some of the creeks and the tributaries off the bay. Crabbing's big, clamming is very big. A lot of ecotourism with different folks setting up day trips out to the barrier islands and things like that. So there's really a lot of things to do for people who love the outdoors.
Personally, one of the things that attracts me to this area, I'm in an area of Rehoboth and the Lewis area, and there's just so much congestion. This area just has all the beauty and the charm, and just it doesn't have that congestion at this time. And very quaint. I think it's a great opportunity to come in as far as real estate purchasing. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, it's sort of a slow southern town. It's very much a family-oriented town. A lot of the folks who buy here or just come here to rent and in some of our vacation properties. I love the idea that it's a walking town. It has a public beach on the Chesapeake Bay. The kids can bike, walk, roller skate. Any given Saturday or Sunday morning in the summertime, you'll see families out pushing the baby carriages, the kids on the bikes, the parents on the bikes. It's just a very family-oriented, laid-out town.
Friendly southern town.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I think we're going to take a trip down the street here, and I believe we're going to meet Dora Sullivan.
Right.
And get a little bit more of our historic facts.
Right.
Is that accurate?
That's
right.
right.
Why don't we take a trip down and stay tuned.
Fish on is fresh, says the Washington Post. Fresh as in right out of the water, right out of the garden. Fresh as in bright, breezy, and even a little brash. Fish on is vibrant, says the News Journal. The menu's filled with simply prepared, vibrantly flavored seafood. Fish on is irresistible, according to the Coast Press. Happy employees equal happy customers. So grab the crew. And as the Beachcomber says, get your fish on.
J. Con Scott, a name synonymous with fine furniture. offering distinctive, beautiful fine furnishings for 80 years. J. Con Scott Furniture announces their second location, the Show House in Rehoboth Beach, where the displays change weekly. Count on the professionals at J. Con Scott Furniture to guide you to the perfect choices in your spring decorating, featuring collections from Baker, Hickory Chair, Stickley, Century, and the Ralph Lauren Home Collection. J. Con Scott Show House, Baltimore Avenue in Rehoboth Beach, and Church Street in Selbyville, Delaware.
Come visit us at Aficionado and see what a seafood market is supposed to be. We have the finest and freshest quality fish in the area. Fair prices and knowledgeable, friendly service. Get heart healthy. Eat fish and seafood at least twice a week.
Taking a little walk down the street, and we're here with Dora Sullivan, and we've come to you for some historic facts. But before we get started on that, you told me something that was pretty interesting. You were almost the mayor of the town, and you told me you tied. And so what do they do in this town when you tie?
Actually, it's Virginia law.
Okay.
They do a draw.
Okay.
And they did a draw out of a tin can.
Tin can.
On the courthouse steps in Eastville. And I lost.
Oh, no. That's pretty fascinating. But it's amazing that you can actually have a tie. You know?
Yeah, I know. I did
and
a
we
good job.
didn't have to go to Florida for the... Anyway, that's another subject.
I know.
We really came to you because you have a great amount of facts on the town, and understand the town was started as a railroad town.
It was started as a railroad town in the 1800s. 1886 is when the town was incorporated.
Okay.
And the ferry boats came twice, 3 times a day from Norfolk to Cape Charles, and then you got off the ferry boat and you went to New York, Baltimore, wherever, by train.
Okay.
And that, in the heyday, were like 800 people a day. And the shops, the Wilson building on the end, which is the oldest and the tallest building, that was a department store. Everyone came and did all their shopping, and then they went back.
Right. So this is almost like a stopping ground. It's like a middle ground.
It was. The town was divided. They had the hotels for whites, and they had hotels for blacks. They had restaurants for blacks, restaurants for whites, and all divided down, which they called Jersey, which is the back section of town. The history books will tell you that Cape Charles went under when the bridge opened. But actually, the ferry boat moved its port location from Cape Charles to Chesapeake. And facts I'm not sure it had something to do with the cost. So then the ferry boat wasn't coming to Cape Charles, and that was the beginning of the end. It just started going down.
What year approximately was that?
Well, the bridge was built in '64. It was before that. It was definitely before that. Very, very few homeowners here that kept their original homes. And the ones that did, the homes are beautiful. I'm with the rescue squad, so I get to see a lot of the Eastern Shore, not just Cape Charles, but Eastern Shore homes. And they're not preserved like you would think, but the families that stayed did. And people, a lot of duplexes were formed, not original. And I always wondered about that. Was that a way of saving your home? To, you know, divide it up, try and rent it out. I mean, times got very, very tough for people, for jobs. And at the point when we moved here, I was telling you that before, 45% of the population made under 15,000. We have a writer who was discovered on the Oprah Winfrey show, Sherry Reynolds. We had well, he still has his home here. Had a bed and breakfast. What's his name? Tim Trevon, who was, he's a writer, and he was part of the peacekeeping forces with Saddam Hussein. Who else is famous? They're famous people here. Oh, Ned Brinkley, one of the most renowned birders on the continent, and he has a bed and breakfast. So it's not podunk by any means, and it's a very kind place. It's nice.
Well, you can feel
most
it.
times. Yeah.
Today's a beautiful day, but you can just feel the warmth of the town.
Everyone walks everywhere, and everyone knows it's getting a little harder. But for all the people that live in town still know each other. But it's expanding with the marina. But you won't believe the marina. amazing.
But the downtown area still has a lot of that old charm.
Oh, absolutely. If you drive all the way up the Eastern Shore through Maryland, the entire shore, and go to all those quaint little towns, not one is set up on a grid like we are. So if you come into like St. Michael's, you get bottlenecked in there, you can't get out.
Right.
But if you come into town, you can turn right and you've got 6 different options.
Ways to move.
Or
and
what the
maneuver.
hey, if it's just a mess, just go to the marina and have a drink.
Right.
You know, but the whole town you can get around. So that's unique. None of them have a free beach. We have a beautiful beach, which is priority with town council to preserve it.
Very good. And things I like is that when you're driving on the highway, it's not littered with outlets and all the.
I
all
know.
The thing. I think,
I know.
I hope that
No.
preservation is going to happen.
We will. We'll keep it out. The
Yeah.
billboards. Which yes.
Yeah.
No. We have to keep this historic. There are restrictions. There are restrictions with building. Like the gentleman just bought all this right over here, which you can see the harbor right from the window. And I don't know what his plans are, but there'll be restrictions.
Yeah.
It's an interesting place. I always say the Eastern Shore, I've learned there's small towns where your money is yours, but your business is everything.
Dora,
How did
thank
I
you
do?
very much. We're here at Stingrays today, aka Shea Exxon, very unassuming off of 13. We're going to meet with David Bratton, who's going to show us a little bit inside and what their Southern flair is all about and why so many locals and people traveling 13 have come to love. Hi, we're in the kitchen of Stingrays. I'm with David Bratton, and you've been here for about 2.5 years. How long has Stingrays actually been going here?
Oh man, they've been 20 plus years.
20 plus years. And one of the things I love when I come down here is the Southern cuisine, the fried catfish, the collard greens, and I know you've built a reputation on this.
Just home good cooking, just home style, everything's from scratch. You do it from scratch, they come back.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
How many meals on a busy day would you figure that you're putting out here?
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Hundreds.
Yeah. And people, I assume you've got a loyal following. I mean, people on their travels up and down make it a must stop.
We've got people from Maine that stop in every year, Florida, and everywhere in between.
Yeah.
They come in just for a specific item, and it's great to see them come back over and over and over the years.
Yeah, no doubt. You've been here for 2.5. Where'd you come from? Are you a Southern guy or?
I'm from across the bay in Virginia Beach.
Okay, so it's not too far away.
No, I've worked in restaurants over there, cruise ship.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Hi, welcome to Flavour. Today we're going to be joined by an old friend of mine, Chef Roy from West Palm Beach. He and I are going to do a couple of our old favorites, so stay tuned. Proves to be interesting. I'd like to introduce you to my good friend, Chef Roy from West Palm Beach.
Buenos Aires.
Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Roy's specialty is Italian. We used to do a lot of cooking together. And today we're going to go ahead and do a couple of his favorites. I think we're going to do your celery root gnocchi. Has a little black truffle in it.
Right.
I think you do that with flour, a little bit of
salt.
egg, a little salt and pepper. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and get rolling. This is the celery root here, and I just wanted to show you that and show you a little cut on that if I could. And what we did for the gnocchi is we went ahead and took all the sides off, cubed it, and we went ahead and blanched that, as well as the potato, and until it was very soft, we mixed them together with a little bit of flour, the egg, a little bit of cheese, salt and pepper. We rolled them out, cut them, and fluted them, blanched them for a few moments, and then shocked them, and they basically came out like this, these little nice little shapes here. I'm going to go ahead and get a couple of my pans working here. And I'm going to start with the tomato concasse first. So we'll heat that up. And while we're at it, I'll go ahead and start with my sage cream. So we've got 2 pans going at one time. This is a blended oil that I put with the sage cream. And I have a little bit of olive oil going on here. With the tomato concasse, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of garlic here. We'll let that start to sweat. We've got in the first pan here, we're going to do the sage cream. I think we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of shallot and onion. We'll get that rolling here. Got a little bit of onion. This dish here with the sage cream is a real nice variation of the carbonara. Because we're going to take and add a little Serrano ham at this point. The Serrano ham is the Spanish version of prosciutto. Wonderful. They're importing it. You can get it at many locations. Beautiful bills or beautiful foods in many other places. I'm going to go ahead and let that sweat here for a moment. Over here with our garlic, we've got a nice brown going, light brown there. At this point, I just diced regular tomato. I'm going to go ahead and add those here. And the idea here is to lightly render that down so it becomes almost like a paste. I'm going to go ahead and add a little salt and pepper here. Behind me, Roy is going to go ahead and put in the pita. I put them in little diamond shapes here, and he's going to go ahead and fry those. We're talking 15 to 20 seconds. The idea is that we want to have them crispy on the outside, but very soft on the inside. A little salt, a little pepper going there. After we've sweated the onions and we got the Serrano ham, I'm going to go ahead and add my heavy cream from the Lewis Dairy that we've done a show with in the past. We're going to let that start to reduce now. At this time, I've got a little pot of water on. These have already been blanched and shocked, but we're going to go ahead and heat those up again. It'll take maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and it'll be wonderful. With our tomatoes, I'm going to go ahead and just put a light wine deglazing on it here. We're just going to go ahead and reduce those down. Chef Roy's gone ahead and fried off a couple of chips, and he's already seasoned them. Good idea why there's still a little oil on them to season them so the seasoning adheres to it. At this time, I'm going to steal a couple of these sage, beautiful sage leaves. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little chiffonade here. Also, we're going to do a little brown butter. In the back here, I have a little bit of butter. And I'm going to bring that to a hard, a high heat that is. And the idea is I'm going to start to brown it without burning it. You really have to keep a good eye on that. Roy was the one who first showed me this technique. And then the idea is that you have to strain it off to not let any of the particles that are on the bottom bitter your sauce. But it lends an incredible flavor to any type of lobster dish or anything with cream especially. So I've got my nice little sage leaves here. Go ahead and add those there. A little bit of salt. Tomatoes are roasting down. So we're going to go ahead and lower the heat here. We're going to wait for our brown butter to take place, but I'm going to go ahead and add some peas here to this one. And this is very similar, like I said, to the carbonara dish. And it shouldn't be too much longer there. In the third pan, I'm going to go ahead and start another dish. And we are going to make the stuffing for the zucchini flowers. And this is reducing really nicely. The idea is to take the heat down a little bit, but we're trying to break it down so it's kind of very pulpy-like. That'll sit on top. And we're going to serve that with fresh Spanish anchovies. It's going to be great. For our stuffing over here for the zucchini flowers, we're going to start off with a little bit of olive oil. We're going to do a little bit of our garlic, a little bit of our onion, sweat our aromatics. Get that going. And I have taken, usually I like to use what we're using, coincide things that we're using already. We're using a zucchini flower. So I took fresh zucchini, and I'm going to add the zucchini in as well. So we're going to go ahead and let that roll for a moment. See our brown butter is getting going here, starting to shade just a little bit in our color. That's exactly what we're looking for. We're not looking at adding too much of it. Looking good. I'm going to take this off the heat, and after I add my gnocchi to it, then I'm going to use a little strainer so I don't get any of my impurities on that. I think our tomatoes are pretty close. So I'm just going to take them off the heat here and give them just a second to cool down here. But you can see how easy that was, for that matter, all this so far. Looks like our gnocchis are starting to come to the top there. So we're almost ready to plate that. We're going to go ahead and add our gnocchi in there. And if you help me out for a second here, Roy, if you just hold that for one moment, I'm going to put a very clean towel on top of it. Put it over the top of that dish over here. On top of the saute pan, we're going to go ahead and take our brown butter, and we're going to go ahead and add the brown butter right to it. Look at that. That's absolutely incredible. Woo! I'm going to go ahead and we have some shaved aged Parmesan. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit around the outside, like so. Have a nice pepper mill, fresh pepper. I'm going to do a couple hits like so. And then I think we should garnish it with one of our pieces of sage that we got from the market. I believe we got it from John Vina. We've done a show on them as well. So, I don't know about you, but I think that looks absolutely wonderful. For a little Spanish tapa, we're going to go ahead and take our little tomato concasse on top of our pita. This is so simple and so good. Put our concasse around. And in front of me here, we have the wonderful imported from Spain anchovy that is not like the anchovy that you're ever accustomed to. These things are absolutely fresh, packed fresh, in oil, and they are just absolutely wonderful. They're not cheap. This in particular cost me about $40 for this little tub here. So that's any inclination on the expense here. The idea is to do something of that nature, garnish it nice, and I think we might be able to use a little bit of this burgundy amaranth on top of here to make it absolutely gorgeous. Once again, we had the celery root black truffle gnocchis with the serrano ham. We had the fresh anchovies from Spain done with the tomato concasse on toasted pita. And once again, I'd like to thank Roy for joining us. And
my pleasure.
You're welcome anytime you'd like to come back.
Job.
I appreciate that. So come back and see us again. Hope you've enjoyed our trip to Cape Charles. I'd like to thank Sharon Wise of Seashore Realty, Dora Sullivan, who helped us with some of our historic facts, and all the friendly folks at Stingray's Restaurant. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned. If you're interested in advertising, or if maybe you know somebody that would be great to interview on this show, please contact us. I hope we've given you a few ideas to put flavor on your menu. Dare to explore your culinary horizon. I'm Kevin Reading. We'll see you next week.